First of all, it's because we need to reach our climate target, but we also see it as a business case. When we're looking on the green transition, we have built up historically a very good business case on wind, and now we see the same with the CCS, that it could be a good business case for us to be a front runner in the CCS. And of course, we need that the rest of the Europe see the same possibilities in CCS, and therefore we need an infrastructure. We can't just do it in Denmark. Yeah, because we have these platforms in the North Sea, but we also have the right places in onshore, and we have this special soil that, for example, when we talk about mineralization, that can where we can store it for everywhere.
Yes, so we started last summer with the project, and we are going to capture and store 30,000 tons of CO2 from January 1st, 2026. At the latest, we hope to be already delivering in the end of 2025. So extremely exciting and very busy times. We are capturing from 2 units. One is a straw-fired boiler in Copenhagen area, and the other one is wood chips from sustainable biomass in the western part of Sealand. And those units are also providing power and district heating. Yes, so we were awarded a 20-year contract with Danish Energy Agency, but that wasn't enough. It's quite expensive what we're doing, and since we are not part of the ETS system, we couldn't withdraw the CO2 quota from our costs. So we have had the possibility of entering a contract with Microsoft that are taking off some of our credits that we're generating, thereby generating negative emissions and carbon dioxide removals. We hope that with time, private funding will take over, because we, as you say, we need to construct hundreds of projects, so that will be very expensive if we only depend on public subsidies. So the coexistence in the beginning of public subsidies and private funding is essential, but in the long run, we hope to make a business out of it from private capital to be able to attack that.
I think when you look at the Danish strategy, there is the coming up a big round. So we'll have 2 more rounds of our subsidy scheme. So we'll have one in June and one in June next year. So the one that will open up this summer will have 0.9 million tons of CO2 captured for 15 years a year, and the other one will have 1.3 million tons. So it's a huge amount of money that would be out for competition. There's 3 parts of that story. I think one part was when we did the North Sea agreement, the politicians really want to create sort of a future for jobs in the North Sea. And it was quite obvious that using the platforms and the oil reservoirs for storing our CO2 just made perfect sense. So I think that was very much in the core of the political agreement they made at that time, that CCS should be promoted in the North Sea. And so that was sort of the first reason. The second reason was that when we did the math, it was quite obvious that we had quite a lot of storage facilities in Denmark, and we didn't need all of them. And I think Danish politicians really think this idea that if Denmark in some way can help Europe achieve its goal, we should do that. So I think there's been great political support in order for Denmark to sort of be a hub to help Europe. And then thirdly, the economics of scale is quite large in storage. So it's also going to be cheaper for everybody if we use the Danish storage for more countries. Yeah, I think the storage on shore in Denmark, I think there's, again, a couple of reasons. I think one of them is that it's cheaper, it's also closer. So you do need to transport, but you don't need to transport that much, which of course is a good thing. And then thirdly, there's been a lot of experience storaging of natural gas. So I think we're hoping we could use some of the same competencies in order to store the CO2. Of course, there are some concerns, which is natural. I mean, this is a new thing. So hopefully we have spent quite a lot of time on having dialogue with local community, really trying to explain, I mean, what is this? I mean, how far is it down and what can happen and are there any risk and what are the potential risks? And so really trying to speak to people. But of course there is people that are concerned.